Brentford? Or would it be the other way around? So, good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to this podcast. This is going to be an open mic one. Dino's kindly given up the time to join us as well. Dino, buddy, how are you?
I've had better weekends, to be honest.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't think I felt as grumpy over a result for a long, long time.
Mate, you've been pretty grumpy all season, mate, so that must be saying something.
It was kind of snatched from the grasp, wasn't it, of victory.
Exactly.
Weird one. I can't figure it out, really, but...
Yeah, we'll get into all of that. What we really want today, guys, is we're going to have like a 20-minute chat to start with. Me, Dino, and you guys. I want to get the comments really involved in today. We'll open a Q&A as always, and then we're going to open the mic up and get some of you guys on as well. If you want to vent. If you want to come in and tell us the world is rosy, tell us the world is rosy. This is your platform. This is your channel. You're going to dictate to us which way you go. As always, priority will go to the members on coming live. So... let's start. Let's kick it off, and let's kick off with a few likes if you haven't hit the like button already. But you are coming on, mate. You are half the reason with your nagging and whining, that we've gone live. So, and I want all those ones.
It's only going early.
All those ones who put messages saying we need a therapy stream, we need a therapy. I've got receipts, right? So I'll be calling all of you out. All right, Dino, kick us off, bud. What are you thinking about yesterday? It hurt, didn't it?
You know what? This is going to make you laugh, but half time I thought, you know what? Cooper's plan's actually going quite well here. Yes, we did defend, but we didn't low block so much, I didn't think, in the first half. And we created chances. But then... second half came, mate, and instantly I was watching for that. As soon as they come out, I was watching for that low block. And they did it for sort of 5 to 10 minutes, and then they came forward a bit, and then they just literally bang, 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 just dropped further and further deep. And it was so disappointing. The substitutions, mate, oh my God. That cost us the game, in my opinion.
Have people been too harsh about it?
No,
because
I don't think so.
I think, look, just to defend Cooper, from an, again, objective point of view. By the way, I'm seeing some of the comments coming through from Owen, from Dean. This one's not on Cooper. This one's on everyone, man. This one's on everyone. But, Dina, on the substitution, and guys, what do you think on the substitutions as well? Because I think the Iwani one was a bit... was he huffing and puffing? I don't know. The Kyoto one was for Jono's injury. Was it the right tactical substitution to make, I think, would be the question. The Yates one was sheer stupidity. There's no other word to describe that one. You never, ever make a sub when your opponent has a corner or an attacking dead ball situation. You learn that in school, man. It's the unwritten rule of football.
Yeah, but does it really make that much difference?
It does. Because the whole point of it, Dino, is that you don't know who's marking who. You suddenly are just out of sync just for that split second. By the time your players come off and on and adjusted, that's the rule of it. Look, it's not to say that cost us a goal. Yeah, it didn't. But it's just the fundamental basics of football, man. I mean, you were talking about the subs. Go on, talk about the subs in general. There's a lot of comments coming in the subs. And we're not blaming Yates for it, obviously, Stoney. Cooper has just an obsession with IU. It's weird. Let's talk about the first substitution.
Yeah, let's talk about the subs first. We'll come back to IU, actually, because that's been kind of a real hot subject today on social media, IU. So, Iwani wasn't playing very well, was he? I mean, he's strong, but oh my God, the guy, he just can't dribble, can he? I mean, his first touch is shocking, but he is a bit of a danger in terms of his strength, and he does keep the back line occupied, and that's a good thing. For Forest. And I think we're different when we play with a striker up front. What I don't understand is I get taking him off because just before half time he laid off an awful pass, didn't he? A very simple pass, and it went literally miles away. Yeah. And I think that was kind of the last straw for Cooper. So props to Cooper for taking him off. But then for me, I've said this before on stream, you should do like for like, shouldn't you? If you take off a right winger, you put on a right winger. If you take off a forward, you put on a forward. So I don't really understand his substitution, because with all the best will in the world, you should be bringing on the likes of, I'm not a Surridge fan, but Surridge or a Dennis up front.
Agreed.
And just put them up front. Don't change your formation. And then, for me, the killer blow for me was when Jono come off and we made a defensive substitution. That's kind of saying, when you must do it with your kids at your kids team, but when you play attack versus defence, the defence aren't allowed to score, they've just got to defend.
You're
literally saying to the opposition, we are playing
Come
attack
at
versus defence. Come at us. See if you can break us down. And to be honest, Wolverine, that hasn't gone well for us this season, all season. Whenever we've done it, it's not gone well, has it?
But it's like that substitution was the 66th minute. So basically what he was saying with that is, I have confidence in this team to hold out for 30 minutes, well, including injury time, and not concede and show no form of attack. That for me is it's just like, why? It's just crazy. It's crazy.
What's your opinion of the substitutions, especially sort of later on in the game? I do get the Awoniyi one, but I don't get who came on for Awoniyi.
I think people are maybe overdoing it slightly, if I'm honest, because there's a couple of things I would say. When I think the volume of substitutions was wrong, because if you are leading the game 1-0 and you've just he's made that tactical substitution for Awoniyi at the start of the half, yeah. Now he's done a second one in Quixote. He's made his bed. For me, that third substitution does not happen until the injury time, or in an emergency, like obviously Danilo got injured. Why? Because you want a time waste. Yeah, it's the oldest trick in the footballing book. You save a sub, you time waste. If he's got his heart set on going low block, trying to hold out yet again for a 1-0, which I can barely remember a time we've done it this season, if at all. Yeah, the Liverpool match is the only one that springs to mind straight away. Then you got to hold that sub to the end in case of an emergency. I don't understand. I didn't think Mangala was huffing and puffing when he came off for that third change.
I've already talked brings him off, but he never sees out of 90, does he?
I mean, usually it's 62 minutes, isn't it? But I just don't see the logic in there unless he was injured. And from what I could see, there was no injury. So that's why. But I'm also, in a way, I feel like people have jumped on this whole substitution thing on there. What he should have done, for me personally, if he made the injury to Jono substitution, then that's when he should have added another sub in there, because we only ended up using 3 subs in the whole match. We carried 2. Yeah. When you're playing this low block football, believe me, you get knackered. You haven't got the ball, you're chasing the ball. As I said in the video earlier, you're chasing the ball a lot, and therefore you are going to get knackered. So to not freshen up with the 5, for me, is a little silly. That's half your team you can refresh in theory, of your outfield players.
So would you have stayed with the more attacking form? When I say attacking formation, it wasn't that attacking, but would you have stayed with the more attacking formation when we had a right winger on in Jono, or would you have changed it to
I don't think he's been using Jono right these last few games, to be honest. I thought Jono was very quiet. I don't like Jono in this more central position. I like him out wide. And I think the other thing that's frustrated me is, when Nico Williams got injured in the previous game. That was the change. When he went 4-3-3 against Brighton, that's where I feel we kicked into a second gear. We were, looking really good, and we started to progress. And I was shocked that he went with this back 3 formation after you saw. I keep saying it. I sound like a broken record. But Felipe and Niakate are too good, man. They're too good. They can hold a 2 at the back. They don't need to be in a 3. And we're giving up that extra body in midfield. Danilo and Mangala look really good in a 2. They were holding quite well. But I would have personally, even though we'll talk about Quixote in a second, that would have been my third choice in there, with the legs from the start, and then maybe sub him off. That would have been the Yates change maybe for Quixote for me, once Quixote had tanked. So that's where I think he got it wrong to start with. And then you can have the 3 with Jono wide. Look, MG Dub for me shouldn't play away from home. I would have gone Dennis wide on the left, and then I would have gone Awoniyi up top. That would have been my choice. But Yeah, I don't know, mate. I just think there's too many little errors springing up tactically. And I know a lot of the guys are saying in the chat, and I want you guys to come on as well. Listen, out of today, I want to be convinced to be Cooper in. That's my objective for this stream, yeah? I don't want to debate with anyone about why I'm Cooper out. I want to know why I should be Cooper in. Yeah, that's kind of one of the objectives I would like out of today. Because I'm not. I don't see the game plan. I'll be straight with you. I don't see the game plan. I would love to see the game plan. So anyone who is Cooper in, I really want you guys to come on and we'll have a chat, we'll have a laugh and we'll have a joke. That's how we do things here. But I just feel the problem we had is that everyone's saying there was a lot of mistakes yesterday, Dino. We'll talk about Navas, we'll talk about Kyoto, etc. But these mistakes, for me, I see it when we play, like when we've had a run in the cup game with the under-12s and we end up against a Div 1 team, yeah? Even the kids at a kid's age, that team will dominate us, force us back. Eventually, the pressure causes one of the boys to make a mistake just because of the sustained waves of pressure that happen. You know, that's exactly what happens, yeah? And I'm seeing that with Forest. I'm seeing that game in, game out, that sustained wave of pressure. You can't hold that tsunami off. It's going to eventually cause mistakes. And that's what we're seeing.
I agree with that. And mistakes when you're like a 1 year's misplaced pass that probably caused Cooper just to bring him off as the last straw.
Do you think that was knee-jerk? Do you think he got pissed off and was like, you're coming off?
Yeah, I think he got pissed off with his first half performance in terms of holding the ball up. But it's unusual that he'd bring a 1 year off that early. That's what I say that for. But what I'm trying to say is that the misplaced pass or any issues that we have up front, like the ball bobbling off somebody's knee and not controlling right, or as I thought for both halves, we were quite wasteful with that final pass. We looked okay going forward, but it's the final pass that killed us. When you make those, in defence, those mistakes, they lead to a shot or a goal, don't they, in the Premier League? And I think that's the difference, and it's a byproduct of letting them put too much pressure on us. So there was a comment earlier from K2, and he said, she said, sorry, but they said that we should have carried on the way we were playing because at 45 minutes we're in control for me. We made them look very ordinary, and people would say, "Oh, they were bad," but we made them look very ordinary. I thought we defended brilliantly, and I was quite impressed at half time, but. I tell you what else, did you not think they looked a bit leggy after like 60, 70 minutes, Forest?
I saw them. I thought both teams did. I thought both teams did.
Leggy, mate.
Yeah, but Dino, that goes back to my theory. We're just chasing, we're like dogs in a park, just chasing the ball around.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. Let's bring in some of the guys' comments, mate, because I want to get this to be linked in, and we'll bring some of you guys on as well. Also, I'm saying here, we are too naive at this level. How we lost that game in the last 10 minutes and the amount of games we have lost the leads as a group, we have a weak mentality at this level. I fully agree with what he's saying there. We are. And that for me comes from the top. I'm not talking Cooper top. I'm talking like even from the hierarchy top, man. It's naive the way that we've done a lot of business this year. It's naive how Cooper thinks that this one tactic is the way forward or the way it can't be sussed out. It's too naive, and the players are too naive as well. Robo's saying, I'm sorry, but we have a tall, great finisher on the ball in Sam Surridge. He needs to be given his opportunity. Dino, what's your opinion on Surridge? This one always comes up a lot. Thanks for the comment, Robbo. But what's your thoughts on Surridge? Are you a Surridge fan? And guys really, in the chat, let's do a poll on Surridge as well. Let's get this therapy session going. Go on, Dino.
Not really, but will he give us more than Wood? Yes. Would he give us as much as a one he does? No. Has he got better? Is he better on the ball than a one? Yes. Is he as strong? No. So it's a kind of mix, really. But he's not really had the chance. A little bit like Dennis, he's not having enough opportunities for him to really show himself. I mean, I think when we got stuffed in the cup, Blackpool, he had a bad game, didn't he? Although he got loads of chances, he just missed them all. I mean, he was so wasteful, and I think that probably that game has been the catalyst for him not appearing much at all this season.
But is he? It's weird, isn't it? Because do you remember in January there was talks that he was leaving, but he said he wanted to stay and and fight for his place a bit, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, listen, we've there's been errors in the club from start to finish, hasn't there? I mean, it's obvious that we signed too many players. And if you look at the top earners in the club, most of the top 5 aren't playing. You've got your Woods, you've got your Shelvers, he's on good money. You've got a lot of the play, Lingard, and they've kind of been, they've not really hit the ground running or hit the ground at all. So, it's not just tactics and low block, but the low block for me is one of the key 5 issues that we've got at the club. The fact that we play that, and we go ahead and we've lost 24 points now, I think, from a leading position, which is actually not the worst. I had a look today; it's not the worst. Southampton have lost more, but it's
Dino, where would we be with half those points? Forget all of them.
Half those points. No,
that's the frustration.
Look at Bournemouth, mate. Look at Bournemouth. They're out of it now, aren't they, really?
39 points. Bournemouth is safe with basically a month left. That's where we should have been. It's just embarrassing for me that Bournemouth have finished ahead of us like that. With the team they've got compared to the players we've got, I'm sorry, but it's not acceptable.
What do you think to this one from Dean Griffiths? So if we survive, considering the massive injury list, and I agree with that because we seem to be having at least an injury a game now, how much we dislike the system is quite an achievement for the manager. Do you agree, or...?
I see the argument, but I think this injury stuff, I'm beginning to lose a lot of patience with it because of a couple of reasons. For me right now, if you asked me who's injured that we're heavily missing, I'd say probably Yates and Henderson. Yeah. Outside of that, I don't care if Chris Wood is injured. I don't care if I'm just going to say so. I don't care if he's out for the whole of next year as well. Yeah, what a waste of 19 million that was. I don't care if Shelvey's injured. I don't care if Lingard's injured. All these other players have been fringe players. The only one I'm saying we're missing is probably the likes of Scarpa. I still think Scarpa has a massive role to play. And Danilo. There have been stages this season when you think the injuries have crippled us. There have been, yeah? But I would probably argue they were the stages in January when we were getting most of our results. I think the biggest problem we've had is the transition out of the January window for me. The way that Wood was initially forced into the starting team I'm talking, I felt that was too disruptive.
Well, it changed our system almost, didn't it?
Yeah, we changed our playing style. We never had crossed the ball all season. And even when we put Wood in, we weren't really crossing the ball in, and that's his strengths, And I just felt there was a change there. I felt we then tried to change with Shelvey when he came back in. And it just... And I still feel that I don't see enough of a consistent selection or formation choice from the manager week in, week out. I feel like you're guessing every single week. Well, is this going to be a 4-3-3? Is he playing in a 3-5-2? Is this a 3-4-3? If we're still guessing, we're 30 odd games into the season now. You should have a consistent formation. I can tell you how Arsenal are going to line up. I can tell you how even Spurs are going to line up. Yeah, formation-wise. I can't tell you personnel, potentially. I can tell you, I don't watch a lot of Brentford, but I knew they'd either line up in a 3 or they were going to line up in a 4 and roughly who would play. Yeah, with us, you can't. You just don't know because I don't think Cooper knows and I don't think Cooper's settled down. I don't know. Maybe I'm reaching a bit here, but does that kind of make sense?
Just for the chat, this is for the chat. Just drop whether you like the 5 at the back, or should we say 3 at the back or 4 at the back, 3 central defenders or the 4 at the back. Just drop the numbers in the chat because I'm not a fan of. I think we need that extra man in midfield personally because Danilo is up and down, isn't he? And he's great going forward. Oh my God, he's great, and he's got such an engine. He could run for 120 minutes, I think, easily. Yeah. But, for me, I mean, we've got 8 from into mostly 4s here, look. And I think that's part of the problem. We're putting depends on how we're playing now. That's fair enough, Garibaldi, that's fair enough. Liverpool away, I kind of get it, but yeah, Brentford where we need to win. But yeah, I mean,
I just feel like he's been itching, Dino. Yeah. He's been itching. He's been trained on his 3 formation, which is absolutely fine. It is. That's what it is. But it hasn't been working.
We could even get away with Danilo playing in the middle of a 3 in midfield for him to push forward if you're not going to play MGW in that 10. So,
yeah.
Well, we've got Crypto Rider in the back, so we've got a guest coming who's going to give his view.
Let's bring him in. How you doing, Crypto?
Hi,
Let me
guys,
get the pin up in the chat for you guys as well. How you doing, bud?
I'm good. I'm feeling better than yesterday. I thought
I'm not.
Yesterday was just awful. But the biggest problem I've got with it is if you need to take Taiwo off in the 55th minute for whatever reason, whether he's tired, he's leggy, he's injured, whatever, that's fine. But if you're putting Ayew on to replace him, that to me is saying we need someone to hold the ball up. But then at the same time, we're only 1-0 up, and there's 35 minutes left of the match. I just don't get it. And then 10 minutes later, you take Johnson off, who's like almost a right winger or an attacker, and you put on a defensive-minded midfielder, and then you've got 30 minutes with injury time to try and hold a 1-0 lead. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I know exactly what you're saying, mate. It's like, it's frustrating, isn't it? It's frustrating.
It's just crazy. Like no other teams do it. And Cooper said in his post-match interview that he acknowledges that he's playing low block football, which I thought was hilarious. He clearly watches this stream. But if he's acknowledging that and he's saying that we made mistakes, but we've been doing that for the last 3 months since the turn of the year. We've been playing low block football. Someone makes a mistake and suddenly a 1-0 lead turns into a draw, and then all the attackers have been taken off the pitch and you lose the game. And he's just repeating the same things. I mean, if he'd have done what he did in the second half against Brighton with the 4-3-3 formation, that was perfect. One, it was good to watch. It was exciting football. The fans were kind of going wild. Everyone was loving the atmosphere, and we won the game.
Yeah.
So for him to revert back to this low block defensive football immediately after, when he's had the 10 games prior to that, to know that it doesn't work, it's just I just don't understand it.
So what would you, if you were given the manager's job tomorrow, or you were an advisor to Cooper, what would you change in terms of formation and/or personnel?
I don't mind the formation so much. I don't think that's the problem. I just think it's the negative tactics, and it's almost like he doesn't believe in the players to be able to go on. If let's say they go 1-0 up, it's almost like he doesn't believe that they can go on and get a second goal, and that he's frightened of the opposition. And I know in the interviews the players say Cooper's a nice guy and he's a great manager to work for, but I reckon there's frustration there. I don't think, especially the players up front, people like Johnson, etc., I can't imagine that they're happy playing football under Cooper, because he just wants them to sit back and defend after they've scored one goal. But in terms of the formation, I'd probably play 4-3-3. I don't really think there's need to go 5 at the back. But I don't think that's what's costing us the games. I think it's Cooper's negative tactics and the substitutions he made. I mean, if he needed to take Taiwo off, for example, he could have put Dennis on. Why put somebody like Ayew on who doesn't know how to score a goal anymore, and he just is holding the ball up, but there's still 30-40 minutes left of the match.
What do you think Ayew brings to the team? I hear a lot of people who go there week in, week out when they see him, they're like, he's really good in the air. Yeah, he wins a lot of kind of flick on headers, and he can kind of hold the ball up. Are you seeing anything else in him, Ben, that is like useful?
I mean, apart from looking a bit like Dino, I don't really see much. I don't really see much about him. He's got a good head, but he's also quite short. So he's not very good at winning headers. I mean, he can direct a header better than Taiwo can. For example, in the last game where he just had to knock it over the keeper. To be fair, I think his hold-up play is quite good. But that's what I don't understand about the tactics. Why are we playing hold-up play with so long left in the match when there's only one goal difference? It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, in terms of positives, I think Worrell's playing much better now. Which I never thought I'd say.
Coming from you, that means he's Maradona-esque, mate. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So that's positive. But I think we've got a really good team. It's just the negative tactics from Cooper. I just don't understand it. And another thing I don't understand is people who want Cooper to stay, whether we stay up or go down. Again, there's no guarantee that we'll bounce back up next season. You know, those guys could be the same guys in 2 years' time complaining that we're stuck in the Championship again. And also, there's nothing to say that Cooper will stay. There'll be other clubs after him. Even if he takes us down, there'll be clubs who are in the Premier League who want him on their side.
Okay, so bear in mind then that he's on a longer contract now anyway from just after the World Cup. Is it, in your mind, is it feasible, bearing in mind that he was kind of Swansea fans said he had no plan B and this was his style of play, this is how he used to play at Swansea. He obviously likes a back five, he obviously likes to counter-attack after a low block. Is this the sort of football you want to see at Forest over the next few years?
No, and it's completely different from the football he played last year. I feel like last year he came in, he had to play attacking football because we were essentially last in the league. He had to get us up the table. But this year, he's scared. He's scared of the Premier League. He's scared what teams can do to us. And I just think that's the wrong way about it. I think we should have beat Brentford. I think we could have gone on to win that game quite easily. There's no need to sit back and low block. There are against certain teams. But teams, we need the points, don't we? I mean, if we don't get points against Southampton and Chelsea, we're probably going to get relegated.
Well, let me just bring Stoney in as well. He's chilling in the background. That's that. How you doing, bud? How you doing?
1 second, I need to sort my stuff out. Right.
Did I catch you off guard?
Hello. Yeah, a bit, yeah. I wasn't expecting to win. Hello, you alright?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm knackered, like I said, but yeah, I'm doing alright.
I won't keep you long. I saw you in the background, so I thought we won't keep you too long. What were you thinking about yesterday? What were kind of the positives and negatives, or what's your overall view? Have you calmed down since?
I mean, yeah, I've calmed down since, but just it was so hit and miss, really. Like, we took our chance when it came, but then those last 10 minutes were heartbreaking. The substitutions were piss poor. I was like, as much as it's a bit more of a myth than anything, the dead ball substitution really screwed us there. And yeah, I think it's 3 points wasted, if I'm honest. Maybe a point.
You would have taken a point though, wouldn't you, Stoney? At the start of the day, I think any Forest fan would have said a point. But it's the way things progressed, isn't it? I think that was the heart-wrenching thing. Because let's be straight, Brentford were poor, and they were on the beach for me.
We made them look poor. We made them look poor, mate. We really did.
Yeah.
They were poor. We made them look poor.
What is Cooper saying to the players at half time? Because we could have come out that game and carried on and got a second goal.
He's pointing to his Ted Lasso sound, believe.
It should have been well played, lads. Same as second half. That would have been.
I think
it must have been.
Didn't feel like that when it came out.
I think Crypto's making a cracking point because he should have at halftime said, "We've just nicked the lead. Yeah, let's go and really put our foot on their throat here. They're on the beach. It doesn't matter to them if they win this or lose this or draw this. Yeah, let's just go get a second goal and finish this off." And if you look at the shape of the last 10 minutes of the match, you would have thought we were the team on the beach. That's the old happy clappy juice you got going, good man. And they weren't. They were playing for survival or for a championship or something like that. And for me, that was the frustrating thing. Okay, you can say we were down to 10 men, but still, I want to see fight, man. I felt like that last 5 minutes was you just felt it coming, didn't you? You knew the goal was coming, and of course, it had to come through errors, didn't it? Stoney, let me put you on the spot, bud. Who are you blaming for the goal? The first one.
The first one?
Yeah, the free kick. God. The Bet's 365 free kick.
I think Navas could have done better. I think most of the blame falls on Kouyaté. That was just inexcusable, splitting that bloody wall up. That was poor. Like, you can't excuse him for that. That was stupid.
that's not Cooper's fault though, is it?
No, I don't think it is.
Cooper put him on the pitch though.
True,
but still, Crypto, you do expect a level of, I don't want to say use the word lack of stupidity. I can't think of a better phrase, but seriously, there's got to be some kind of sense within players. You line up a wall. I mean, we were taught in school, to link through the arms on a wall, so there was no gaps. I don't know if because we're living in this whole liberal society now, you're not allowed to do that anymore or what, but that's how we were taught in my generation. Yeah, obviously Stoney's the same generation as me, so he knows what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I can prove
the gaps. It wasn't just Quixote. Quixote was like in freaking America compared to where the rest of the wall was. But even Worrell kind of turned his back and ended up behind. Who was the other one in the wall? It was near Kate. Yeah, but he kind of jumped and turned, and then he ended up slightly behind Niakate. Look, I'm not saying it's Worrell's fault here, but I'm just saying these are the fundamentals, man. These are the fundamentals. And what Nathan is saying is spot on, man. That free kick to give away from Quixote was lazy football. It was lazy football, and it just didn't need to happen. It didn't.
This is why Cooper's post-match interview annoyed me so much, though, because he knows that mistakes can be made. So why are we settling at 1-0 up? He knows there's been plenty of matches, the Shelby mistakes, etc. He knows there's going to be mistakes made. So why are we settling with a 1-0 lead with 40 minutes of the match left?
Yeah, it's like there's so many games that we've just given away from winning positions when we could have, if we'd have kept some of the winning position games that we were in, we would not be in the position we are now. We'd be somewhere like Bournemouth, like thinking we're basically clear now. It's ridiculous.
I think what I want to sort of come to both of you. I think Big Mark's saying here how many of the individual errors are Cooper's fault. I mean, what's your opinion on that in terms of our mentality going defensive versus actually the players being dumbasses and really letting the manager down? Where's your split on that?
I think you've got to expect it. Like, players are going to make mistakes. It happens a lot. We're at the end of the season now. He knows it's going to happen. The kind of way to combat that is to make sure that you get a 2 or 3-0 cushion, not a 1-0 cushion. I mean, it's not just the fact that he went low block, it's that he's taking off attackers. He's taking off Johnson, replacing him with a defensive-minded midfielder. Yeah. He's putting on Ayew, who probably couldn't score a goal in his back garden. And then we draw, and we can't come back and score another goal because there's no one on the pitch left to do it. So it's not like his tactics are just trying to avoid goals being scored. He's actually stopping the team from if we do make a mistake, then we can't go on to get a goal back anyway, which is the frustrating thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's 3 to mind suddenly spring up. We lost the game against Newcastle in the last second with Niakate's stupidity on that one. We've had the game against Brentford. We've had the game against Everton back. This was second, third game into the season, and we let one in the 87th minute, which just drives you bananas. Just from those games alone there, we were winning at Everton, so that's another 2 points you could add to the tally. We were drawing, that's another point against Newcastle. And this one, I mean, come on, we were winning. Just on those games alone, you're looking at 4 or 5, 6 points. 6 points per person, 36 right now. Would be celebrating.
Wolves off the hook, didn't we, at home? Big time.
Wolves off the hook. Wolves off away as well. We missed a penalty in the last 5 minutes of Jono. There's just so much. There's so much you forget about. And when you go back over the season, it's just a lot of ifs and buts and maybes, And I do agree with what Andy's saying here. In the end, Cooper is making the personal decisions. The players that get selected to go onto that pitch are the ones that are culpable, but the manager is the one who's chosen them. The manager is the one who's seen them train in, week out, and these should be the boys he's relying on to be the most consistent as well. And he's not selecting right,
Crypto, with the 4 games we've got left, where do you see the points coming from, and how many do you think we need?
I think we need to beat Southampton and Chelsea. I can't see us getting points against Arsenal and Palace. I mean, it may happen, but I think we've got to try and beat Southampton. That's what on paper would be the easiest game. And then obviously Chelsea are having a pretty bad season too. So I'd go kind of all gun-ho to get 6 points out of those 2 games. Whether that's enough with our goal difference to keep us up, it may not even be enough.
It'll just be typical that Poch comes in early.
Stoney,
typical Forest.
Stoney, I don't want to keep you much longer. I know you're tired, mate. So let me ask you this.
I'm waking up now. I'm waking up. This is good fun. I'm all right.
Who are you saying the 3 are going down?
Oh, don't do this.
I'm doing
I think I'm gonna say I think Southampton are gone. I think at this point it's just too far gone for them. I'm gonna say Everton in 19th or 18th. Okay. No, I'm gonna say 18th for Everton.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna take a quick sip.
Yeah, get that happy clap of juice in you, mate. Yeah. Push us up the table.
Leicester in 19th. We're staying up.
Okay.
We're staying up.
The juice, mate.
All right. I'm going to say bye on that note.
Get your happy cup of juice.
It works. I told you it works. It works because we got other people in the back chat as well, mate. But it's good to see you as always, Stoney. Keep knocking back that happy clap of juice. It works. Trust me.
It really does.
It does.
It works so well. It changed my name.
Yeah, and we're staying up according to you now. So all's
staying
good.
Up.
Yeah, exactly. All right, bud. Enjoy the bank holiday. All right. I want to address some of the stuff that are coming through in the comments. Right. There's a lot of interesting points being made, and this one it still seems very divisive between. It's not Cooper's fault if the players make mistakes, and the alternative is, well, he chose them. Well, we've been making mistakes every game. I want to bring a slight different element and ask you two about it. If the players keep making mistakes, and I don't think anyone's going to argue with me on that point, they are continuously, it may be a different person every time. Is there a bit of lack of, I think respect is too strong a word, but not fear either. But do you know what I mean? It's like if I mess up at work, I know there's consequences from my manager, for example. Yeah. Do you think the players just don't feel that he's going to just come up to them and, put an arm around them? Did you see Klopp today in the Liverpool match, losing his crap? I don't see much of that happening. Like, why wasn't Cooper shouting at Quixote yesterday or at Navas or whoever he thought was responsible for it? You know what I mean? You're nodding away there, Crypto. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think, look, Cooper's too soft. If Forest Ham was in the changing rooms, they'd all be shitting themselves. They've got to... They need to respect the manager, but he's got to have a go at them when something goes wrong. I mean, like you said, if you take it out of a football situation and put it into a work situation, and if someone gave you 11 tasks to do and you failed all of them over the space of 3 or 4 months, you'd get sacked.
Yeah,
It's not good enough. And from what it sounds like on the interviews with the players, like Cooper's obviously a nice guy and they get on with him well. But they're probably not scared of him, and sometimes in a professional sports situation, that's what you need. You need them to go out and fight for the manager. They're fighting for the fans, but if they're not scared of the manager, if they go back in at the end of the match and Cooper gives them all a hug and puts them to bed, it's not good enough.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Dino? Do you agree with what
one thing that Cooper has done is I don't want to use the word galvanise, because galvanise means to bring the group together and exceed, doesn't it? So we're certainly not exceeded, but he's brought the group together. I mean, you saw when they come off the pitch against Brighton, if you saw some of the back, the after-match footage on the Forest channel, they were really buzzing and they were all so tight together. So he's brought that, but probably a byproduct from that is they don't fear him. And that's a problem, and then he does play his favourites. I know you've been talking about favourites FC all season. I've not necessarily agreed with you at times, but I do feel it now. MGW going on the left rather than the natural Dennis going on the left, for example, if you're not playing that 10. And I love MGW. He had a great game against Brighton, but so I agree with Crypto. I just don't think he's got that rough edge that some other managers have got.
I think
he's very stubborn in his team selection and his play style. And it is that or the highway. But at the end of the day,
this from Pat. He needs a good cop, bad cop.
He may have had one in Reed, but for me, the stats are just. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. But we've won one in 13, 14, is it? 13?
13 for now, mate. Don't put 14 there just yet. Give us time. Yeah.
One in 13. We're not good enough. And he's at that helm, isn't he? He's at the helm of all that. He chooses the tactics. He chooses what happens on the pitch, and it's what's on the pitch. Yes, he may have been given players that he might not have wanted, but he's got a big enough squad to not choose them, which he probably doesn't. If you look at who plays and who doesn't play. So, too stubborn.
The difference as well in the Brighton game, which we won, is Aurier was the on-field captain. Now, I was sat on row A of that game, and he was walking around the players. Obviously, it wouldn't have been shown on TV, but he was walking around the players, like bigging them up. After Navas made the mistake and they equalised, he went over to him and said, "Look, forget about the mistake. We've equalised now. We're going into half-time at 1-1." I don't know if Worrell has that same impact on the players, because especially in previous games where Worrell has been, performing pretty badly, do the players have the respect for the on-field captain if effectively he's one of the worst players on the pitch? I'm not saying he is in the last few games, but if you go back, a month or two, Worrell was making all the mistakes as well. There's the manager on the sideline, but when you see someone like Aurier going around the players and kind of getting them hyped up, I think that can make a difference too.
Yeah, I think you make a good point. I would tend to lean towards what Ant says on the captain side of things. I feel that it's just it's a rubber band, isn't it? Whereas for me, I would be, if I was a Forest player now, I would be looking at the likes of Felipe as my leader. I'd be watching how he's playing, how he's performing. I would take what he said to me, any criticism he pointed out my way, that would scare the crap out of me, and I'd be like pulling my belt up kind of thing. It's, for me, it's more about I would respect the players on the pitch who are telling me what to do from a position of them doing it by showing strength. The Felipes, the Auriers for most of this season, Whereas if someone like Worrell, and again, as you mentioned, he's been good the last couple of games, but had Worrell come up to me as a player after he'd slid in stupidly at the Spurs game, for example, I'd have been like, tell yourself that first. What are you saying, telling me to pull my ideas up when you're doing stupid mistakes like that? So for me, it's all about action on the pitch first. That's where the leadership comes from. Wearing an armband doesn't mean anything to me, and I kind of agree with what Ant always tends to say at that.
Some people, I've seen a lot of people, one in this chat actually, I don't know who it was, but 83, we were great for 83 minutes and then just crumbled. I don't think we were great for 83. I thought we were great for 45 minutes. I thought the crumble started.
I don't even think we're good for 45, mate.
I thought you'd well 45 minutes.
No, I think our standards have dropped to what great, good, and everything else is, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah. I was bored at halftime. I did say it. I said, give me 1-0 bored. I don't care about the performances right now. I'll be straight. I care about the points, yeah? But if we're going to say that we sat there and played great for that first half, that was the most boring half of football I've ever watched in my life. And, I can compare that only to the other boring halves I've watched this season from Forest, yeah? Now, we've got to have our standards right. We can't call that a great half of football. Because I am telling you now, I've got piss take messages left, right, and centre from mates saying, how can you take the piss out of Spurs playing boring football when your team plays like that? Yeah. So let's kind of be objective about what we're thinking about, what is great and what is good. For our standards, for what Cooper wants, yeah, you can call that great.
Yeah.
But in comparison to what real football should be, it's nowhere near. It's nowhere near.
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely seen a lot more in around the social media, all the different channels that are getting a bit fed up with this low block and that soul destroying football there. I think we just all want us to be a bit more assertive, don't we? Do you not agree, Crypto? Just a little bit more. Let's just go for it. Southampton went for it against Newcastle, didn't they? But they ended up losing, but they went for it.
Yeah, but what Gregory's saying here, Crypto, Brentford were on the beach. They were on the beach. We're 1-0 up at half time against a beach team.
But that's what I mean by Cooper's tactics. When you make those substitutions, you're taking the belief out of the team that they can go on and win, because you're putting on Ayew, who's not known to score any goals, recently this season, and he changed the formation into low block. I mean, he literally said it in his post-match interview. He literally said the words, "We played low block."
I've never ever, sorry to interrupt you, I've never ever heard a manager admit to being a low block setup ever. They'd call it counter-attacking or something. To use the word low block, I've only heard us use it, pundits use it, and things like that. Sorry, Chris, but it's just weird to me that he even said that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what made me most angry. It'd be interesting to know your guys' thoughts on where we get the points from going forward.
Dino, you can answer
that.
We
have to beat Southampton. I mean, that is a must-win because I could probably see 4 points from 4 games.
Is 4 points enough?
No.
I don't know 34. If it is. I don't know. It'll be touch and go, but I don't know.
Guys in the chat, where are you on this? Give us a number. Let's just say if, like Dino, you think it's 4 points.
Yeah.
Give us, so say 34, and then just put yes or no next to it, meaning will it be enough or not? I want to bring you guys in the chat on this. There's loads of messages. I'm going to try and do my best. Apologies, won't be able to get.
Can I just bring this one up while you're doing that? Owen, Simon said we'll beat Brighton to me. I think I was the only one on our channel that said we'd beat Brighton. So I was very smug at that. But Owen, I'd like to see you come on, buddy. I know you're a big Cooper fan. I want to keep this balanced, and we're all kind of turning more into we need a new direction. But we'd love you to come on, mate, and just give us your opinion.
Yeah, and Dean as well. He's quite balanced on his.
Anybody that wants to come in that has an.
I know you haven't got the greatest name, Dean. I know it's a shame you have to share the name with him, but yeah. Mark's saying 35 points minimum. You know what, Mark? What Mark's saying here on the goal difference, he's absolutely spot on. Because if you think about it again objectively, boys, we have to get. West Ham are on 34 points, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, correct me. Am I wrong on that? I think they're on 34.
Killed us long ago, mate. Before.
Yeah, they're on 34. I think
they're 34, right? We have to get 2 wins now to overtake them. We can't have a win and a draw to match them. Do you see what I mean?
They're on minus 10 goal difference.
West Ham. They're long gone. By the way, Jack, I can see you in the background, but I don't know if you're there. So if there's a way you could
click on camera, we'll get you in, buddy.
Give us a wave or something, we'll add you in. Okay, flashing away, cool. Let's get Jack in and get his thoughts on it as well. Sorry, Jack, I thought you were away from the screen there.
Is my camera on? I can't see.
It's just black, mate. It's just black.
Oh, it's okay. Keep camera off if you want.
But yeah, you can stay like that, mate. That's cool. Okay. What are you saying, Jack, points-wise? Where do you think we finish up with these next 4 games?
Well, I'll say... The thing I've been saying all season, we can beat Southampton, but they've been playing really well recently.
Yes,
against like Arsenal and Newcastle, like they got the early goal against Newcastle, and Arsenal barely drew with them, and it's worrying because we're not doing very well at all, and I think we should get 3 points from that. And I think we should get 3 points from Chelsea because they're awful at the moment.
You confident on Chelsea as well?
I am pretty confident, because they are. I think they're like one of the worst teams in the league at the moment.
It's weird, isn't it, Jack, being confident away at Chelsea? It's just the weirdest feeling. But I know what you mean. They can't buy a point, win, can they? They're just. If you talk about confidence, they've got the lowest confidence out of every team in the league.
Yeah.
Do you think that, Dino? Do you think they just don't care? they've written this season off, kind of thing.
I just think they're more fragmented than we were with 30 players with all the signings they've made. I just think they've signed, I fancy that player, rather than signing a system. And I think that's what we've been guilty of. I don't think we've signed to fit a particular system. I've said this before. For me, we should have 2 right wingers and then a backup in the 23s, 2 left, and so on. We don't seem to do that. We seem to shift people about. And when we bring people off, i.e. Jono, when he was injured, we bring a completely different position on. It makes no sense to me. But maybe that's because I've played too much Football Manager.
If I was being devil's advocate and I asked a question from the other side, I know you said you want Cooper out, a long time ago. But if Cooper left tomorrow, who replaces him?
You asking me?
Yeah, all you guys.
Jack, what do you think?
I mean, I can give you 3 or 4 names, mate. People saying it's too late. A lot of people are saying it's too late. Yeah, I'm saying no, it's not, because most managers can get a bounce out of a team within a week. Yeah, look, Sean Dyche as a manager bounce example. Look what he did within his first week against them. Now, I've never been a Sean Dyche fan, so I've got receipts for that. But he beat Arsenal within a week. Yeah. For me, my choices would be you bring in either Brendan Rodgers, you bring in Nuno, the ex-Wolves guy. Yeah, you bring in, has Bielsa signed up to Uruguay yet? I can't even remember. If he's available, potentially him. There's just loads. Yeah, I'd bring Patrick Vieira in. Patrick Vieira comes in with an air of, look, I think this whole Roy Hodgson manager bounce was more to do with the fixtures they had coming up rather than the fact that Roy is doing a Roy thing for them, because they've played crap teams since Vieira got sacked. He had Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool all back-to-back kind of thing, and that's where he got screwed. So for me, any one of those managers coming in, because any one of those managers does not play low block football, and any one of those managers has Premier League credentials and experience. Yeah. And I think any one of those managers could win us 2 games out of the next 4 and draw 1 more. That's what I think. I think 37 is what's needed for me.
So what about this option then? What about if Marinakis does let Cooper go, would you let Gary Brazil or somebody like that see it out for the rest of the season and then see where we are before we make the next decision?
I think it needs to be a short-term appointment. Gary Brazil's always done well, I've thought, when he's come in, and he knows Forest, he knows the infrastructure. That could work. But I'm telling you, the problem isn't for me just Cooper. It's Reedy. I love Reedy. I loved him as a player, but Reedy's just not got the experience, man. He's not got the experience. Tatey as well. I don't think none of them have Premier League experience. I'm shocked that they went into this season, or that Cooper went into this season and didn't think to himself, right, I need someone who's had the ropes here before, who's walked the walk in the Premier League, yeah, and will know, how to navigate certain things. And I don't think we've had that. Cooper should have gone in with some assistant who was well experienced within the Premier League, for me. What do you think, Jack? Where are you on this debate, Jack?
I would like to see him try is Graham Potter.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the problem he had at Chelsea was the big players, because I feel like they don't care about the club. They're too, like João Felix, I don't think he cares about Chelsea.
Yeah.
But I feel like with players like Lingard, I'm not a fan of him, but you do see him celebrating with the players, and obviously he loves the club. I think Potter would be quite a good fit for us. I'd like to see him try.
I don't think Potter would come. If I'm being straight with you, I don't think
he'd come now, would he? I think he'd wait.
I don't know who'd take him though. Really, I don't know what other jobs he's going to get.
Do you think Marinakis has lost patience now? Because obviously he put that statement out a few weeks ago now, and to be honest, I've seen a great second, in my opinion, a great second half performance against Brighton. I saw actually quite a good performance against Liverpool compared to what I was expecting. I know you're laughing, Wolverine, but
I'm reading some of the comments.
A good first half performance against Brentford. So, what do you think Marinakis is thinking today, Jack?
I don't think Cooper's. I don't think he's in any fear of leaving, because I think Marinakos couldn't have said anything because he couldn't have not said nothing because of the bad form. But I feel like he's probably going to stay for another season.
Into next season, yeah?
Yeah. I feel like that's a deal that they've got, but he can't just let Cooper be awful and not say anything. He's got to say to the public, like, oh yeah, I want it to improve. But I don't know if there's really any threat behind closed doors. I feel like he might want him for next season, no matter what.
Crypto, do you share that opinion with Jack, or?
I don't think owners should get involved with managers, but I think on this occasion, someone needs to tell Cooper his tactics aren't working, because he's not changing it. And this is what I can't understand. It's 11 games on the trot and it's not working, and nobody is telling him this is not working.
Well, it's longer than that, isn't it? Because we had a bad run. October, was it?
Yeah, we'd lost like 8 in a row or something in October. I can't remember. Maybe more than that.
But even like it's not even fun to watch anymore. It's just, what's going to happen. It's just so negative, and it doesn't need to be, because we've got a good team at the end of the day. Personally, I don't think Marinakis will sack him. Maybe he'll review that at the end of the season.
I agree. I agree with you. Yeah.
But I would bring in someone if they were available and they wanted to do it, Gary Brazil, or just a temporary coach, just to try and keep us up, because I genuinely think if Cooper has the same tactics as the last 3 months, we're going down. I can't see us beating even teams like Southampton. I think will struggle.
Yeah,
because it's not only negative, it's risky. His tactics are risky. They're basically go 1-0 up on the counter attack and then defend for the rest of the match.
Yeah, and it's inevitable, isn't it? Joe, I mean, I haven't played FIFA for a while, mate, but please feel free. Come on, educate us, us, and give us a clue.
Just put some quantify that statement.
Yeah, I'm happy to be told I'm wrong and why.
So either the chat will come on, mate.
If you're playing FIFA, for example, you don't score 1 goal and then sit back and defend for the second half. It would be boring. No one would play it. You want to play FIFA because you want to score goals and win matches.
Yeah. But we know it's not FIFA, innit? I mean, everyone, joking aside, it's not FIFA. But at the same time, there's inevitability. It feels to me like if we go... Sometimes I feel like 1-0, if we score early in a match, I'd rather we were 0-0 till the 85th minute and then got 1 goal and then just had to hold out for 5 minutes. That would be, I think, ideal. I think we could hold out that way. But Jack, I just want to ask you, mate, before we let you go, because there's, I think Jeremy's in the backstage as well.
Jeremy, come back in, buddy, if you can.
How many points do you think, mate? How many points do you think, mate?
What, until we're safe?
Yeah. Do we need for safety?
I'll probably say we need 37 points, maybe. Something like that.
I'd probably agree with that, yeah.
That's going to be a tough ask, isn't it? It is, really, isn't it? Yeah, you've only got to look at the last 13. That's a tough ask, that is.
Yeah. I mean, shoot him down, Dino, the poor guy.
No. I'm just saying, in my head, we're going to stay unbeaten for the rest of the season. But my head, as you know from my previous predictions of Shelvey, etc., isn't the best head to talk to. So I'm just looking at form, and we're playing well in the last 3 games, but still only come away with 3 points. So,
and that's why I say I don't care about playing well now. All I care about is the performance. Yeah. Jack, go on, Jack. Closing statement from you, bud.
With Cooper, I do feel a bit bad for him because, and really, the whole season has been our attacking threat, and whenever we've had another attacking threat, they've got injured. So, Awoniyi was getting on good form, and then he got injured. Southampton away. Lingard was in the after he scored that goal. It was looking quite good, and then he got injured. Wood after Man City got injured. Scott was injured. Was injured after scoring 2 goals. Nico Williams injured after scoring 2 goals. And he doesn't have a lot of choices.
Danilo, you can add Danilo now, mate. Danilo's looking red hot, I
would play Dennis, but he obviously doesn't fancy him. I can't really see why.
It is. I mean, look, we're not saying this is all on Cooper. It's not. It's not.
Yeah.
This is on the club. I mean, it's a collective, isn't it? You win together, you lose together. Yeah, but you know, it is what it is. Cooper, we rust. But yeah, Jack, thank you so much for coming on, buddy. I really do appreciate it. Sorry, I didn't know you were waiting while you were waiting. I just thought you'd stepped away because of the black screen and everything. So, but we'll do this, mate. We'll do this, bud. So thank you so much for coming on, Jack. As always, it's good to have you on again. Cool. All right. Let's bring on.
Mate. I bet Warren watches this channel.
I bet Warren watches
He's
this
watching
channel,
you,
yeah.
Crypto. Is that
Crypto,
why he's tonight?
He's your Bezzy, mate.
Yeah.
You still staying on, Crypto, by the way? Are you still staying on? You free for?
I will. Yeah, I'll stay on for another 10 minutes or so. I'm not
dinner
yet, so.
Yeah, ain't had your dinner. Bloody hell, mate.
No.
Bloody missus is slacking. Okay, let's bring a few of the comments up as well. Chuck is saying, I love Niakate's throw-in. It's an extra attacking element. I mean, we scored from it, didn't we, Dino? This weekend.
Yeah.
Is it? Are you happy with this weapon, or like I still feel too stokey? If I'm being honest,
we can get, mate, at the minute.
Yeah,
it's not a thing to build a squad around, but it's an extra weapon, isn't it?
Do you feel like he is building?
When you haven't got any bullets.
How are you feeling about it, Crypto? These throw-ins, are they doing it? And yeah, Matty, no one does mine, bro. Come on.
I mean, they're a lot better than MGW's corners. Don't get me wrong. I think Morgan Gibbs White. I think he's a great player, especially when he's on form. But his corners aren't brilliant. I think there was one last match where he did the same. He just put it into the first man, and that was the end of that. But yeah, Niakate's throwings are pretty decent. To be fair, Worrells aren't too bad either.
No, actually, I saw
that. They're pretty good. Yeah, I agree.
Must be catching.
I agree. Yeah. Crypto. All right, Crypto. Listen, we're gonna let you eat, man. It's been a long one. We got Jeremy and Matty in the background. Give us your final points, Tally, buddy, and then tell us if we're gonna do it.
I think we can get 6 points, Southampton and Chelsea, but I'm not sure that will be. We could be a point away from staying up. Maybe we'll see. Yeah, it all depends on whether Cooper's watched the stream and he's ready to change tactics. But something tells me he won't.
Well, we can only hope, mate. We can only hope.
Yeah. I'd like to be more positive, but
yeah, I was going to say, mate, you're not filling me with confidence. Cool. All right, mate. It's good to see you. You go grab your dinner. We're going to bring Jeremy and Matty on and see what they're saying. Thanks for jumping on, bud.
See you later, Crypto. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Relaxing rhythms. You were in here before and it would baffle me. Are you looking for me to have babies with you, or are you looking for me to look after your kids when you go out on the piss? I'm babysitter.com.
Jeremy, how are you, bud?
I hope you're not talking to me.
No.
I'm all right, mate. I haven't got the Hoover on tonight. I'm on my mobile.
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Everything that's some Forest. I'm stuck in the middle of the Cotswolds on a family celebration. My in-laws getting married for a very long time, and the reception's absolutely appalling out here. So yesterday I was forced to watch BBC Score. You know, the
text
equivalent of the thing that comes in. You know, when Forest went 1-0 up,
Yeah, you're not lying about the reception, are you, Jeremy? When they went 1-0 up, then you cut off. Can you still hear us? Jeremy? No?
Go out and come back in again, buddy.
Jump out, jump in, buddy.
Matty,
we'll say hi to Matt. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Solid.
With the good mic set up. We love that. We love that. Yeah.
I don't.
How are you, bud? How you feeling?
I just feel a bit... It was sort of just very defeated, I felt. Liverpool, I came out of hopeful, but this was tragic. It was like if we'd went 3-0 down first half, wouldn't have cared. Like, yeah, it's a loss, but the way it happened, it was so defeating.
Yeah. What was it about it that got you down, mate?
In fact, it was last minute. I didn't like the game as a whole because it was just sitting back a lot, taking a lot of shots in. And I hate it when we play like that. And as soon as that first goal was in, I knew it was over. I was surprised we didn't concede 4 in that second half. I think we were lucky to just concede the 2.
I don't want to feel down, but it's tough, isn't it?
So
it's tough. It's the hurt. I think you're saying more the hurt, aren't you?
I love it. I'll try and be a bit more up.
Yes,
love it. Love it. A quick shout out to Lenny. Thank you so much for the £2, buddy. That's way too generous of you.
Yeah.
We do appreciate.
You've got a shower in it now, as you probably saw from our vlog.
Yeah, don't do a Dino, mate. Don't do a Dino.
Little self-dignity I have to do that, but I'll consider it.
Clever juice.
I guess really, it's tough, isn't it? With 4 games to go, yeah, we have Southampton now. Technically speaking, they are the weakest team in the league. They're bottom of the league, etc. But if I'm being honest, I've seen them showing a lot of fight, mate, lately. I mean, even today against Newcastle, I thought they put in a good shift. However, do you expect them to put a shift in against us? Or do you think we'll be able to hold out?
I think they've 4 points or 5 points off the drop. I think they could come back if they really tried, and they're going to go for anything at this point.
There's 6 points adrift now.
6 points.
6 points with 4 games to go.
It's possible, especially they know that the other 3. I think it's only at this point. It's safe to say there's only 5 people going for the drop, which is Southampton, us, Leeds, Leicester and Everton. They know all of us have really difficult games, especially Everton and Leeds. They know that they're going to go for every win possible, and especially one that's in a relegation battle team as well. They're going to go for that win.
Leeds are a really strange club, aren't they, at the minute? They look really good against us. They're just terrible.
They are such a good club, but such a bad club at the same time.
Yeah. Their fans have gone toxic as well, man. I've been, I love Joe. If you guys aren't subscribed to Joe, just Joe Football. And of course, all Leeds TV. We've got our mates Oscar there as well from them. I mean, I was watching Joe earlier on the watch along, and he's like, yeah, let's sack Garcia now. He goes, screw it, let's go for a double sacking, and that's the stage of anger they get in that. Because he's had beef with Nonto, man. I thought, do you remember when Nonto came to the City Ground? He destroyed us until Aurier came on.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And he's been their best player, and he wasn't playing him.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Everything went down that left channel.
Yeah. And it's just it's been weird, man. It's been weird. Yeah, jump on, We haven't heard from you in a while, mate.
I remember during the watch along, because I was in for the 2-1 loss. I was in for your watch along. And
wait, which 2-1 loss? You got to be more specific than that, mate.
The Leeds 2-1.
Oh, God,
the amount of Leeds fans I saw when that first goal went in, I don't even know if it was loads of Leeds fans. I think there was maybe 2. Just spamming the same message over again, and that's 2 of them. And I've seen Twitter, I've seen everything else. And
it does flip around, doesn't it, Dino? Because after Leeds beat Forest, they were like, "We're safe."
Yeah,
we're safe. Yeah. I remember, and I love Mikey. Yeah, after they won their game, who was it against Spurs? I can't remember who it was. He came on. He's like, "Lads, I'm not even coming on here anymore. Everton are safe." Yeah. After we beat Brighton, we're there saying we're safe. So this isn't over, is it? This isn't over.
I mean, we thought we were safe
for anyone.
Much further back, didn't we? We when we were sitting up 13th, 14th, we were like, yeah, we're all right now. And then we just went on this dreadful run. So with them all playing each other, they're just all getting sucked in and out. But I mean, Bournemouth now I think are clear. So it is limiting who's there. Just a comment on Navas I wanted to ask Matty, actually. What's your opinion of Navas? Because I think I agree with Wolverine on this. He's kind of brilliant and awful at the same time in the same game.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
No in between.
I was watching the stream as well for the player ratings. World class, yet shit at the same time. I don't know how it's possible. He saves the most difficult shots ever, then lets in ones that are between his legs or between his arms. And I don't know how he does it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so on. Yeah, Tommy, you jump on as well, mate. Sorry, Matty, go on. Yeah.
Oh, no, it's just...
Is it baffling to you? Is it a guy with 3 Champions Leagues, you know, and he makes
I think
clangers?
maybe the second goal. That one was... The first goal, he might not have been ready for it. The Koyate thing, say what you will about it. I don't think Koyate was at fault, but it was still a weird...
Wait, I'm not letting that one slide. Why would you not put him at fault?
I would...
Which one, the first or the second?
They're both equally. I wouldn't want to blame that on a specific one necessarily. I don't feel comfortable saying that, especially because Koyate's been he's been one of our good players most of the season. So, in my opinion, I'm sure a lot of people would disagree with that. But the second goal, that was inexcusable. That was Navas, all the way. That is. Eddie Bolland said flippers for gloves. That is what it looked like, straight through. Yeah, I'm sure he must have like oil or something that makes his hands more slippy or something. I don't know how he doesn't catch some of these.
It's when he played Wolves. He touched what's his name? The slippy winger, big guy.
Oh, Adama Traore.
Yeah, Traore. Yeah, he must have touched Traore because he's full of grease, isn't he? Oh, the second goal. I watched that back today on slow mo as you do when you're dead.
He's just not got rid of
You mentioned MGW, who actually turned his body sideways.
Correct.
The only fault Coyote did on that second goal really was not pressing enough. He didn't push in enough. He just kind of a bit laboured. But yeah, Navas.
No one was good there. But like, even so, like the shot shouldn't have happened.
I'm old,
in the first
mate.
place,
I'll lose my brain.
enough. But that's a shot you should save almost every time.
You can't not as well. Lodi was to blame for that, but in essence, Lodi for me was gassed by that time. Anyway, he should have been off for Toffolo.
Yeah, he let him turn him, didn't he?
Yeah.
He should have just stood him off.
He got past him. He got past him.
Yeah,
massive,
didn't he?
Just very quickly, massive thank you to Owen for gifting a sub, a magic tree. The legend gets it. Owen, you're way too generous, buddy. This is what I love, right? This is why I really like Owen. Like, he'll say stuff that I fully disagree with. I'll say stuff he fully disagrees with, but we respect each other's opinion, and he's a huge supporter of the channel and an absolute legend. All right, Matty, we got a miserable git to get on in the backstage here, mate. So let's finish with this. Are Forest going to survive for you, mate?
Depends on other teams, depends on our performance.
Which do you think it depends on more? Our performance or other teams being crapper than us?
I think it's that. Yeah.
How many points?
Teams being crap on.
How many points from the last 4?
I think the Leicester Everton game is going to say a lot. I think, but at the moment, 34's not, 35 is. At least. 5 points. I think if we get past 35, I think we're definitely surviving. 34,
fair enough.
34 might stay up on, but I'm not confident.
Yeah. All right, bud. It's a pleasure as always to have you on, and I love that you got a good mic. It makes a world of difference, matey. So thanks for popping on, bud, and we'll see you soon. See
you soon.
You too. Thank you.
Cheers. Dino, you want to bring some of the messages up from the chat? Let's get them involved, and I'll get Simon on as well.
Oh yeah,
anything catching your eye from the chat?
Sambo's going to be playing Champions League. Ooh. So we thought he was making a bad move there, but apparently he was right. Let's have a look back.
Simon.
You alright, guys? Can you hear me?
We can indeed, bud. We can indeed.
Yeah, how's the sound today? Yeah, how's the sound?
It's good, mate. It's good.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's because this is why I'm camera off. This is why I'm camera off, because I can speak right into the phone microphone.
Good. Just don't French kiss it, mate, and we're all happy.
Mate, I'll get my sound system set up.
We've been obviously talking on WhatsApp and everything, but I've just talk to us in general, mate. I feel like we haven't had you on in a little bit, mate. And I just don't know where your head's at right now with everything Forest. It's up and down, isn't it? After Brighton, the highs, and then the lows of Brentford, and then everything else. Where are you at the moment, mate?
Well, depression at the moment, but obviously if you asked me on Thursday, I was, buzzing, absolutely buzzing, going into work, absolutely buzzing. No, it's just frustrating. It's just so, you don't mind losing football games, obviously, but losing in that manner right at the end, just heartbreaking, because before 80 minutes, we were thinking, right, get 3 points here, get 3 points against Southampton, we're done, we're finished.
Yep.
And then... But as I said on the comments, all through that second half, I was so nervous watching it. I'm pretty sure all Forest fans were tense watching it, because you just know what we're going to do is we're going to sit back and we're going to invite pressure on, and it's not sustainable. Some games we get away with it, but in the long run, it's not sustainable.
Yeah, correct, 100%.
I've heard pundits saying, the defence is the reason why Forest are going to go down. Their defence is too weak. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't.
I think our defence is mid-table defence. I'm pretty sure, most Premier League teams will take that defence. You got Lodi, Aurier, Felipe, Niakate, Navas. That's an insane defence. What the problem is, you're asking those guys to do unbelievable amounts of work.
Yeah.
Just pressure, wave after wave after wave. Like, you're going to crack at some point. The defense cracks at some point. Yeah, we've seen it with Spurs. All they do is they get a goal, they sit back, and then they lose. I know. I don't know. I didn't watch the game today they played, but that's the pattern I saw before under Conte. I don't know if it's a little bit different now with Ryan Mason.
Nothing's changed, mate. Nothing's changed. I can tell you that much.
But it's unsustainable. You see it all the time. Like, how many clear-cut chances does the opposition get against us, and they just miss, or Navas pulls off a world-class save, or something happens where we somehow don't concede. And even against Brighton, I remember Matoma looked like he was in and going to score.
Yeah,
but he didn't.
He missed that one. Yeah, man. He usually puts those ones away.
And do you remember with Leicester, Barnes running through?
There's been two of them.
Terrible, yeah.
There's been loads, mate. Yeah. It's unsustainable. The football we play is unsustainable. That's the best way to describe it.
That's actually the best point I've heard all night, to be honest, Si.
It's just shit, isn't it?
You said you felt nervous sort of watching the second half. How did you feel first half? Did you feel the same nerves, or did you think we were in control?
Well, it took me 25 minutes to get the stream up, so I didn't see most of it.
You didn't miss much, mate. I can tell you that much. It was the most boring first half.
No, but as you said, I had the watch along in the background. But as you said, boring is good. That's what we want, isn't it? We want boring, because I would have taken a 0-0 out that game.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it, Si? Because I found myself when we went 1-0 up, and about just before a 1-0 came off, I was there counting the points. I was like, all right, that's 3 points here. We're on 33. Same. We'll beat Southampton because we're going to carry momentum. That's 36. Chelsea are crap. That's 39. Yeah. Arsenal are done. We'll get a draw there. That's 40. And then Palace are on the beach. We'll finish on 43. And then within the space of, half an hour, I'm struggling to get us to 34. So it's just so fickle, isn't it? I went from 43 to, can we get to 34 now? I just feel momentum's so big.
No, I fully agree with that, because what I feel like is we've wasted that momentum after the Brighton game.
Yeah,
that's just popped now, isn't it? That momentum. That's why I really was worried about this Brentford game, because that after the highs of Brighton, you wanted to carry that in against Southampton.
Yeah,
and now it's the players are down again. There's going to be internal fighting. Players are going to have a go at each other. Navas has, made a couple of big mistakes there. People on Cooper's back again now. Well, I say again, but, after the Brighton game, I'm Cooper out, but after the Brighton game, I was like, okay, yeah. I'm not Cooper out because I hate Cooper. I just want us to win football games.
Yeah.
I just want to see Forest win football games. If Cooper can win us football games, I have no problem with him being the manager.
Yeah.
I want Cooper to succeed. I want him to succeed more than other managers, just because, he's got that special connection with the fans.
Yeah.
But, the way he sets us up, and obviously I go to a lot of these games, especially the away games as well, it's just humiliation, after humiliation. you sort of just walk out the ground, the same feeling where it's just like we've just sat back, we've not even had a go, we've just been completely dominated. And, you know, it's not like we get unlucky with games. I don't feel like we've been unlucky in any sort of game we've played, really. It's just, we've just been crap, and then we just get beat. And I feel like most of the teams we play, they can't be bothered. I remember Villa looked crap, Brentford looked crap, because they don't raise themselves for the game. It's just like we're no one gets themselves up for Forest coming to the ground. I don't know if you guys think the same way. It's just
you almost feel like they get bored playing us, mate. I know it sounds weird, but I don't know if that makes sense.
It's like when we're in the Championship and you get like Peterborough or something turning up to the City ground.
Cheers, mate.
It's not the same. No, it's not the same atmosphere, is it?
It's not. I know what you mean. Yeah, and do you feel? I feel like there's some teams. Yeah, they're just like, yeah, okay. Yeah, we're bored now.
We'll win. Like, we don't need to put effort in. We'll still win at the end because Forest will find some way of bottling it, or as we saw in both of those games, as I said, Villa and Brentford.
It's weird.
The most recent examples.
I can't argue much of what Si's saying. I mean, Si's always been a straight talker. That's why we love him. But
normally I do, but no, tonight is obviously it must be the camera, buddy. You talk a lot of sense.
I gotta take issue with one thing though. Your boy Navas.
One thing I'll say is, I know you keep criticising him for parrying the ball, but what I've noticed a lot since I've seen Navas parrying the ball is a lot of other Premier League keepers also parry the ball.
They don't parry it into the danger zone though.
I think they do. It's just the defence is there and they kick it away. I saw Pickford doing it. I saw Pope doing it. I saw like Ramsdale does it a lot. I think a lot of these keepers do parry it quite a bit.
Yeah, but mate, that was a clanger, man, on the free kick one.
I can't comment on that one. Mate, I can't comment on these Brentford goals because I could barely watch it. No, because my stream kept freezing. It was buffering. As I said to you, like I could see the ball travelling towards Navas, and then the stream just froze, and then I waited for about 15 seconds, and then I saw the Brentford players celebrating. So I've not actually seen what the goals were like, because I'm not watching Match of the Day after that.
Yeah, you wouldn't have missed much.
So yeah, but I can imagine. I can imagine this just because I could see Navas's positioning, and if he let a goal in, was it near post? You're expecting better there. But yeah, I can't comment on the goals, as I said. I can't even comment on the Forest goal because that again, the string froze, and I just saw Danilo celebrating. I was like, oh, we scored.
You take it and run, mate. Take it and run.
Because I was out of the house yesterday.
Owen's comment there, look. So, fancy to, without a doubt, we're in the ground. I mean, me and Owen at Brighton, we just literally came out with no voice because we were just singing all the game.
Yeah.
So, in the ground's important. You don't hear any really anti-Forest, anti-Cooper stuff in the ground, but we're entitled to opinions on stuff like this, definitely, because we're not going to lie. If something's wrong, if we feel something's wrong, we're going to say it as it is. Otherwise,
it's not just that, Dino. The point is simple, yeah? We support them once they cross the white line. We can debate it after or before.
Exactly.
That's how it is for me.
People. Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand why that.
You're not going to be in the ground like Cooper out. I mean, first of all, you wouldn't feel comfortable doing that anyway, because I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that around some people. They're very hardcore Cooper in. But I reckon Dino. I wasn't at the game obviously because I sold the ticket to you, but I reckon was the fans getting quite tetchy and quite toxic towards before we scored before we scored our first goal at all.
I mean, not really. No, not really. Not in the Bridgeford end.
Because the football looked atrocious.
Where it is somewhere around where he was sitting, getting a bit tetchy. But not
because really we had missed the penalty.
We missed the penalty. We were getting dominated. Yeah. They scored.
Yeah, it's interesting. All right, mate. Listen, we got a few more in the back to bring.
Yeah, no,
got a couple of legends, mate. But once we get your setup done, we'll get you back on a regular basis, bud. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. All right, mate. Good to have you on. I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, speak to you guys next time. See you. Bye.
All right, so catch you later, bud. All right, we got Go and we got Tommy. We're going to bring the two big ones here. Boys, how are ya?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. How are you, Go? How are you, Tommy? Can you hear us okay, Tommy?
I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you fantastic, bud. We can.
Let's have you on, buddy.
Good to see you, Tommy. How you been?
Okay. It's been a long time since we last spoke. I think it must
have
October.
It is, but I feel the scenario is not too indifferent from when we last spoke, Tommy.
I think it was when we lost at home to Fulham or Bournemouth.
Oh, God. Oh, you want to take us back there, Tommy? You want to take us back?
How are you feeling, Tommy, about the weekend? How's your weekend been after that?
Well, I think what made it feel so bad was that we were leading, yeah? But I think in the context of how I felt a week ago, I'm more positive now than I was then because of the Brighton win.
Good. I like where this is going. Go on.
I mean, because I knew from the fixtures we had Liverpool and then Brighton and then Brentford. And to be honest, I wasn't expecting us to get a win from any of those 3 games.
Yeah.
I was basically waiting until the Southampton game.
Yeah.
And I feel that the Brighton win was unexpected, and it made up for us failing to beat Wolves, which was for me, was one of the must-win games after the
and Everton. Yeah, add Everton into that, yeah.
So, was Everton before the Everton?
Yeah, it was literally Wolves-Everton with the 2 home games back-to-back, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then we didn't get anything at Leeds away, which I thought was another good opportunity to maybe get a win. And I thought, well, now it's going to really be, realistically, it's going to be in the Southampton home game. It's going to be our next best chance to get a win. So I feel that Brighton win put us in a much better position. And it felt really bad yesterday because we were leading. But ultimately, if I'd been in a position at the start of the week and you said, would you take 3 points from these next 2 games? I think we would have said definitely yes.
Let me ask you this question, Tommy, and chat, I want to ask you guys as well. Would you rather have the 3 points as we had it with a Brighton win, or would you have preferred a draw with Liverpool, a draw with Brighton, and a draw with Brentford? Now, obviously, I know the points are exactly the same, but in terms of mentality, what would you prefer, Tommy? In chat, let me know. Just write in draw or win, whatever one you want.
Well, it's not really just simply about the result, is it? It's about how the performance as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the Liverpool game, although we lost, felt more positive to me than how we played against, say, not beating Wolves at home. Because it's about expectation and how you perform. So it's not just about the result, it's about the performance.
Yeah. But I'm talking momentum-wise. Would you feel there'd be a different bit of momentum?
Yes, but momentum is also about performance. If the team's performing better, I think I'm more hopeful that we will win our next game. Yeah? We got momentum from beating Brighton and from not doing too badly at Liverpool. We could have got a point against Liverpool. Yeah?
Yeah. What about you, Go? What do you think? Did you prefer the win or the 3 draws? Or does it matter?
I completely agree with Tommy. To me, I don't care if we win or draw because it goes back to all of us, let's say 6 months ago. The only thing we all cried about was us playing like a team, fighting, that fighting spirit. That's what we want to see. Even if we lose 6-0, but we fought for 90 minutes, that matters more to me than the draw or the win. Because I'll be honest with you, right now, I'm more hopeful than I was ever. After the Brighton performance and the Brentford performance, I watched the Brentford game, and you know what? I actually saw a lot of fight, even though we lost with, I think, 2 stupid mistakes that we need to take ownership. I've still got a lot of faith. I think we're still going to stay up. I still think, our performance has improved a lot. Our fighting spirit has improved a lot. And I want to say to everyone, do you know what? It's not about Cooper in or Cooper out. Right now, I think it's just about being behind Forest. And I honestly want to, because I said this to all my family members, I said, you know what, now more than ever, let's all go to the games. Now more than ever, let's go to the away games. Because now we need to show how much we're behind our manager, even if we like him or we don't. But for them 90 minutes, we're all in.
Yeah.
After the 90 minutes, we can say what we want, because I'll tell you now,
Yeah.
right now, I'm more pissed off than ever about the 2 mistakes. The Kyoto, when he jumped out that wall, what was he doing? What was he doing? Why would you jump like a donkey and give so much space for the free kick to go straight through? That's all he had was one job. And then Navas, who's a world-class keeper, for me, what really pissed me off was the fact that that blip he had there, even though we was down to 10 men and Danilo, fair play, was injured, he had to come off because he's been one of our best players. But one thing I'm struggling to understand is we play low block defense for 90 minutes, right? How come we couldn't defend for 5 minutes then? That's what really pisses me off, because we play low block defense. That's all we ever play, right, for the whole season. So why did we struggle so much to give the to? That's when we should have played low block defense harder than ever to at least get the draw. Not to give them the win. And this is what really annoyed me, because Cooper said, "Oh, we're making mistakes," but you've been doing that the whole season. You've been doing stupid things. Why are we not learning from it? The defense is our biggest crisis. So why are we not learning from that?
But is it the defense, Tommy? Do you agree, or is it more the midfield really where we're lacking? Where do you see it, Tommy, in terms of the issues that we're having on the pitch?
Oh, well, there's lots of things. There's too multiple things. But just going back to the last question, the other thing I would add is whether you asked me about 3 draws or a win.
Yeah.
I think the win against Brighton was important, because it was important that we ended that winless run before we got to the Southampton game.
That's a cracking point.
Because we had such a long run without a win. If it had come to that Southampton game and we still hadn't won, it would have put even more pressure, and it would have played on the players' minds even more. They hadn't won for so long, despite being at home. So I think getting that win got that monkey off our back, and it made it much better to go into the Southampton game with that, even though we lost yesterday. You compare Southampton, their mindset going into the next game. They've just lost today to Newcastle. Sounds like a probably decent fight, but they've lost now, and they probably need to win at least 3, if not all, of their last remaining games. So although they're not mathematically down, they're really in the stick. Yeah,
Have you written them off?
Southampton, yes.
Yeah. But do you think they're still going to be fighting?
No. Well, if they must win, Southampton must win against us to stand a chance. But I think their mentality after today is that was their final hurrah to realistically stay in.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Obviously, for both teams, it's huge. Yeah?
Yeah.
We know it's our best chance of getting a win from our remaining matches. It has been ever since the Wolves game. And for them, they must win. Of the games they've got left, they've got to beat us to stay in the frame. And they might even need to win all the last of their 4 games. So it's extremely unlikely. You know?
Do you agree? Do you think Southampton are gone? Well, let me rephrase the question.
Okay.
Would you prefer to play Southampton already relegated, or a Southampton that might as well come out swinging against us? What do you think the better option is?
I'll be honest with you. I think we're going to struggle more against Southampton than Arsenal, because I think Southampton are going to fight for their life. I think Arsenal have already mentally given up after the Man City lost. I think Southampton aren't going to give up until the very last second of the season, because they know we're not giving up. Leicester's not giving up. Everton's not giving up. So why are they? So they're going to probably prove to us that, if everyone else is in it, we're in it. If you lot think as Forest you're still in it, so why aren't we? Because and I think that's exactly how we need to go against Southampton. And I'm not saying this in a disrespectful way, but at home we should not sit and low block defense and let them attack us. We're at home, we should fight and play good football and not low block defense. And I think we should show Southampton and make a statement to everyone else, moving forward, that we're still here to fight. I don't want to play 90 minutes and show Southampton we're struggling, and then go into that struggling energy with the next games. Do you know what I mean? I want to really make a statement against Southampton in every game like we did with Brentford. Even though we lost, I think we need to still carry on fighting and not go on a downfall. Because I'll be honest with you, as much as Cooper's pissed me off all season, after the Brighton game, the Liverpool game, and the Brentford game, I'm seeing a lot of good stuff. But it just pisses me off when he constantly says at the end of the game that we're making silly mistakes and we need to learn from it. But how many more mistakes do you need to make? Because we've lost so many points. Do you know what I mean? So many points. And the thing is, everyone in the chat just said it's our midfield. And I agree, we've not had a consistent midfield. We've changed between Mangala, Shelby, O'Brien, Colback, Yates, Chiarte. If you look how many midfielders, Shelby, we've had Freuler, exactly. We've had 8-9 defenders, Lingard. We've had
Shelby.
everyone has been going in and out. So we've not had a consistent midfield, and I don't blame our defence to be struggling, but we've not also had a consistent defence. We've switched from a back four to a back five to a back three to all sorts, you know. So our midfield and our defence is a complete mess. Only just now, I think, was it the last game that was the same team as the game before? So we've only done that twice all season. So we've done well to draw out some results, and we've done well to take some points completely. But at the same time, it pisses me off when it's the stupidest error going, like the last game. Stupid mistake, you know. And the thing is, we knew that Danilo had gone off. We knew that, everyone saw it, and we knew we couldn't make subs. So why didn't we play a bit more tighter at the back? Do you know what I mean? It's like, I just don't get it.
Yeah, I've just put a poll out. Where do you guys think our weakness is? Is it the defense? Is it the midfield, or is it the attack, or is it all of the above? Let's see what you guys go with. Sorry, Dino, were you just about to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to say I agree with Goat. Really, it's I think the fact that he's played so many combinations in midfield and players in a CDM position that we don't really have a CDM, you know. And the fact that then when we revert to a two, the two have got to be bloody good in the Premier League to be a good two in midfield.
Yeah.
So I do agree with you. I disagree with you slightly on the defence. I think the defence has improved a lot, certainly when you're looking at Felipe and Niakate together, and then Danilo, Lodi and Aurier. That's a fantastic back four in anybody's book.
It's a Premier League back
Felipe
four.
could walk into most clubs in this league, I think.
Yeah, Tommy, something me and you have always debated about is formations. We've always had some fun convos on it. Where's your head at the moment with formations? Are you liking this 3? Do you prefer a 4? Do you get what Cooper's doing half the time? Or what are you thinking to what he's doing, and then what are you preferring these days?
Well, obviously, recently he's been playing 3 centre defenders, hasn't he? Do you mean in relation to that, or do you mean more generally?
Both. I mean, are you happy with the 3 back, or do you want to revert to a 4? What's kind of been your preference?
Partly, it depends on the context of the game and who we're playing and whether it's home or away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Against Southampton, I definitely don't want us to play 3 centre backs.
Do you think he will?
Yeah.
Because it's like the question is, who would you like to play? Who would you like to play? What formation or system do you want to play? But then the question really is, well, realistically, within the scope, sort of paradigm of how Cooper sets things up, actually, what is the possibilities that Cooper might do? Which is really the key question, you know. And it's sort of like trying to think, I wish we played 4-2-3-1. It's probably not generally going to happen, yeah?
Yeah.
I think maybe there's instances where we could play that, and in these final 4 games, maybe there are instances where we might play that, or at least for some of the game, yeah? Because we need to get some wins, yeah? So he's going to have to start being a bit more positive sometimes.
Would you? So you'd do that against Southampton, because obviously Southampton's the key one.
I'm not saying start that way, no. Anyway, what I want is kind of irrelevant, because, as I say, it's all in the scope of what Cooper is likely to do, and you can be fairly predictable about what different things he might do. We know he's very cautious. Yeah, he has his favourite players. Yeah, you know, so there's always kind of a limitation to what things he might do. But against Southampton, no, I wouldn't start with 3 centre defenders, and also, with one of them, if we play 3 centre defenders, then really one of them has to be Worrell, and I'd rather not start with Worrell. I'd rather play with another centre midfielder instead.
Yeah, I mean, what Scott says here is spot on. We need to know who's available first. You know, with Jono potentially out, with Danilo out, and everything like that.
I'd be gutted if Danilo's out, man. I really would for the season. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
The thing is, if you start with someone like Coyote, like we did against Brentford, potentially it's quite easy to change the system during the game without making a sub and putting him as a centre back.
That's a fair point. You can be more adaptable with what you're saying.
I could easily see Cooper doing. Say, for example, we were to take a lead against Southampton, and we were playing with 2 centre defenders, and Cote was playing, you could easily see Cooper go defensive and move Cote back to play as a centre back. Yeah, that's the sort of thing that Cooper would do. The move to put Ayew on when we had the 1-0 lead against Brentford was another defensive decision made quite early in the second half. That's the sort of thing that Cooper does. He gets the lead, he wants to sit on it. Yeah.
And are you of the mindset that we should push for a second? Because holding this 1-0, have we seen it happen at all, you know?
Well, it's not just necessarily holding for a second. It's like a choice of, well, what happens if we concede? If it goes to 1-0 like it was, I would have, if I only had to be taken off because there was a fitness issue there, because I think he was likely to look a bit leggy, If that's the reason why he was taken off rather than it being tactical, I would have rather put Surridge on. Because he works very hard and he can hold the ball up, The problem was,
I agree.
With us sitting back so deep and playing defensive against Brentford and then putting more forwards on, for so long, you're just inviting the number of chances that you're going to have to face. It only takes one mistake and you let in a goal. As we saw, like on the free kick.
What do you think on that, Goat? Do you think like that substitution did cost us? Would you have gone with a Surridge?
So the way I would say is, Assalamu alaikum, as bro. I hope you're good.
Welcome salam, bro.
For me, I'll be honest with you. Are you coming on? Right, so when you make a sub, you're supposed to make an impact. It's an impact sub. Ayew hasn't got the legs like he did back in the day. He's got experience, but the thing is, when you're trying to score another goal, Surridge would have been perfect for me, or Dennis, someone that can actually run, dribble, create chances. The only thing Ayew can do is just about hold the ball, and I mean just about. He hasn't got the legs to run up. He hasn't got the pace to, dribble past players. He can barely, the thing is, Wood. If we had Wood is strong enough to hold the ball up. He would have been perfect at 1-0 to bring him on, hold the ball up, pass it around, and get the win. However, we couldn't do that. So if we haven't got that, you've got to look at your best options then. Dennis. I honestly believe Surridge and Dennis are rotting away. And some of the subs he makes, honestly, I can't understand it. I think it's purely down to his favourites. His favourites are, Ayew, because he's got history with them.
MG Dub.
The thing is, to me, the only thing I like that we've started to do now is, as soon as someone gets a niggle, they sub them off. I like the fact he does that. They don't carry on playing like Danilo. I agree. He felt something, get him off straight away. Don't carry on playing to make it worse. So fingers crossed, I think he'll be back a lot sooner. Naivety done that last 2 games. He's gone down, they've subbed him off, and he's come back on the next game. So I like that. However, Cooper's tactics to me do sometimes make me want to bang my own head, because I can't understand what his thought process is. When you've got the likes of Dennis and the likes of Sam Surridge, and I still believe Sam Surridge is one of our best finishers, but we need to believe in him. We honestly need to bring him on and give him that chance. And he's got, Cooper's known for that, mentality where he's brought players through, the system, and he's breeded them in, and he's done really well. So it kind of makes me question why he's not doing that with Sam Surridge anymore. And the next game with Southampton, for me personally, I think we should go 2 at the back and not 3 or 5, because we're at home. Why are we playing so defensive? We just discussed, all of us, about how when you score 1 goal, we play defensive, and this is the thing, we struggle to score 1 goal. Forget 2, we barely struggle to hold the ball and score 1. So the fact is clearly, if we're struggling to score 1, and most of our results are ending up in a 1-1 draw or a 2-1 loss, then why are we not changing the mentality and thinking we need to score 1, then we need to score 2. We need to stop scoring 1 and sitting back and then allowing the other team to hit us.
But is it because you feel he thinks that he can't get a second? So it's a case of, statistically speaking, we're only going to get 1 goal. We've got our goal. Let's hold on.
Okay, but how can we not get a second when this is the thing. He doesn't even allow them to press for a second. He literally scores one, and then it's like he tells the team, as soon as we score one, everyone go back in defense. I've seen a 1U all the way in our defense. I like the fact they're all coming back, tracking back, and working hard. I love that. But the fact is, as your striker, for example, the season where Vardy scored 20 goals and they won the title, Vardy was all over the box, opposition box. He was a menace. You couldn't control him. He was up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. He was a rattle guy. You could not stop him. But that's how a striker should be. He should be a menace, not a striker who runs all the way back and spends 70 minutes in his own defence. So the fact is we can score 2 or 3 if he allows a 1 to run up and the midfield to press up. But we're not gonna if we're playing low block defence. This is what pisses me off. We've got the talent, we've got Surridge, we've got Dennis, we've got strikers who can score. We know they can score. He doesn't bring them on. And then the 1 has 2 touches all game. How's he supposed to bury chances? He just about gets a feel for the ball. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, Tommy. I'm just looking at time and just want to bring stuff to conclusion here. Because I've got to chat to our other brother here coming on. Tommy, what's your point tally for survival? I know you've done the maths. I know you did the whole predicted out thing. Yeah, how are we looking against what you did?
Well, it's hard to say. I think we could survive on as low as 34. Maybe.
You think it could go that low?
Maybe. It depends on the other teams.
Yeah.
If those other teams near us, which I'm talking now, I think it's Southampton are down, and then it's going to be 2 out of us, Leicester, Everton, Leeds. Yeah.
Are you calling West Ham safe?
I think they will be. Yeah.
They got a tough run-in, you know.
Yeah. Well, the others were even harder.
They're on 34, but they've played 33 games. Leeds and Forest have played 34.
Yeah, but they've got Man City midweek.
Yeah.
Leicester, Everton, they're obviously playing.
West Ham are going to come into the equation. They got 2 games. The final 2 games are against, I think it's Leicester and Leeds, or something like that. Or Everton.
Yeah. Yeah, they got Leicester last game of the season away for West Ham, I believe.
Yeah, and I think they play Everton on the penultimate game.
Yeah.
So I think West Ham will be in a position where they've still got something to play for, which is going to help us when they play those teams near the end. They're still going to be in it in the penultimate game, because I don't think that West Ham are probably unlikely to pick up any wins until then. So I think when it gets to the penultimate game, which I think is against Everton, West Ham will be looking to see if they can get a win just to be absolutely secure. So it's good that they're still in it for our purposes. Yeah, but I'm looking at the likes of Leeds, Everton, and Leicester. I'm thinking, well, where are they going to be able to get 2 wins? Because if you're saying Forest need to get 2 wins, well, do we really need to get 2 wins? And obviously, ideally, we want to get as many wins as we can. But realistically, I think 34 might be enough. But the way I look at
even with our goal difference, Tommy, are you not going to put a 35 on that for the goal difference?
Well, if it wasn't for the goal difference, 33 could possibly be enough. Realistically,
okay, so you're going that side of it. Okay.
Realistically, it probably won't be. Yeah. Ideally, we probably need to get at least 36, 37. All I'm saying is that it could turn out that 34 points could be the cusp, and it might be enough. I'm not suggesting we should play it only to get a win.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah. You know, I think what happen is that we'll go into the final game of the season against Palace, and it could be that a draw is enough for us, or that a win, we will have to get a win. Yeah?
Yeah.
But at least we're in that position.
Bloody hell, man. I don't want to do a watch along for that one. I'll tell you that now.
By that point, Palace are safe.
Yeah, but Forest away from home, Tommy.
They're already safe. And, you know, we're playing Chelsea at an ideal time. I think we've got a decent chance of getting something against Chelsea. Yeah? And Arsenal, well, the title could already be decided mathematically by the time we play Arsenal. Because Arsenal have got 2 difficult games against Brighton and Newcastle. If they don't win both of those games, and Man City win all their games between now and then, I think the title will already be decided before we play Arsenal.
I like the positivity. I like the positivity.
Yeah, I like the optimism.
I'm reasonably positive. Yeah.
Good.
That's given me a little bit of cheer up, actually, Iggy.
He's made me feel like the route is there. He's given us some route options. Yeah. Go. Do you agree with Tommy? Go. Do you see it that low, or do you think it's going to be higher?
Just to add.
Done.
When I said 34 might be enough, that's predicated on Everton and Leeds drawing tomorrow.
All right, so this goes all to shit when one of them wins tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah.
No, I don't agree. I think we're going to need way more. I think we need at least 36 to 37 minimum, because I feel like Leicester, Leeds, I'm looking at it now as we talk. I think Leicester, Everton, Leeds, and Forest are in a fight, and any game, 1 point, a draw, any win can switch that table so quick.
Yeah.
It's literally, there's nothing in it. So to get 33, 34, nowhere near. I think you're looking at 36, 37, and because again, Leicester's got more Premier League experience than us, and so has Leeds. They've been in this predicament a lot more than us, so they're gonna pull out probably more results than us. So I think we need more points, 100%, because it is as much as one game, one result will flip the whole script. So it is tight. It's tight as hell.
Yeah.
And I am optimistic after the results we've picked up and the performances. However, I think we need 36 to 37 minimum to even breathe. Because right now,
I do agree.
Southampton are out of it. I think Everton and Leicester, they've not given up. They're not. It's 2 points, 28 to 30. It's one game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tomorrow, is it tomorrow? Leicester and Everton.
Huge match.
Yeah.
Huge.
Literally, to me, that is literally like that's like a final between Arsenal and Man City. Literally, just like them two play for the title. That's exactly the same thing tomorrow, because they're playing for relegation. So I'll be honest with you, I'm expecting a lot of goals tomorrow, because I think they're both going to go for it, because a draw isn't enough for both of them. A draw's not enough. So
who's at home for that one? Is it Leicester? I think it's Leicester, isn't it?
Yeah, Leicester's at home.
If it's a draw, I don't care that we lost yesterday, to be honest, because Leeds lost today. So.
Yeah, but we're back in the bottom three, boys.
Yeah, but
we need to bring Ez in.
We're still where we were, realistically.
Yeah, boys, it's been a pleasure. We could talk for hours, but we got to bring Ez in and bring things to a conclusion. So. Appreciate as always having you boys on. It's been an absolute pleasure. We might do this on a weekly basis, just do open mics and get you guys in.
You know what? Just before I go, honestly, I just want to say one thing to every Forest fan. And what it is right now, I want everyone to just believe more than ever. And I just want everyone to stay Cooper in for now. Because you know what? It's everyone's voice matters right now. We need positive energy. I know we're struggling, and even me, as much as Cooper pisses me off and I want to kill him sometimes because of the dumb shit he does, I still have to back him.
Metaphorically speaking, before some people are...
Yeah, 100%. I love him. It's a love and hate relationship. It's a love and hate relationship, honestly. Because I do love him to bits, but he drives me mad, like he drives all of us mad. So I just want to say, we all need to back him. At all the games, we need to carry this energy, honestly. Because right now, I think that makes the difference. I think we have to, honestly, because there's a lot of people that are going to try and knock us down. There is.
Yeah, I love that positivity, but he's pissed me off too much for that. But when they cross the white line, I'm fully Cooper in at that stage.
We're all in.
We're all in, man. We all want the same thing. Premier League next season, please.
I don't want to, yeah, exactly, and I just don't want to hear any more Cooper out conversation until the Premier League's over, because I think we just don't need to have that conversation right now. We're beyond that. We're past that.
I'm not going to fully agree with you, but I respect as always.
We don't need to have it, honestly, because we need to right now believe more than ever. After the Premier League's over, we can do that conversation all the time. But I think just right now, as brothers and as a Forest family, I think we just need to believe, and we all need to back him. Dino, back me up here, bro.
Mate, they've got the belief at the ground. It's a ridiculous noise at the ground. They've got the belief. They need to pull the socks up and start doing the jobs.
Yeah, it's over to the boys now, isn't it? Absolutely.
Yeah, it's over to the boys.
Absolutely. All right, boys. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. And let's get Ez on, and we'll speak to you boys again soon. Thank you for jumping on. Salam, bro. Salam. Ez.
Hi guys.
What time do you call this, mate?
I know.
Firstly, can we have a quick shout out to Forest Ant, who's feeling still under the weather. So guys, get those Forest Ant emojis in there.
Him well.
If he's not watching now, he'll be watching later, and he sends his love, and he he knows he's got his fanboys in there, and he says he's sorry that he couldn't make tonight's stream. But Ez has his fanboys in there, so Ez, welcome.
Thank you.
How you feeling, bro?
Still bunged up and shitty, but in terms of football, mate, I've heard a lot of what people have said tonight. I'm glad you guys done the stream today because I think it needed to be done. But there's some really interesting points hearing from everybody, what you guys have said throughout the stream. I want to pick up on something that Tommy kind of mentioned when he came in about how the mentality should have been going into that game yesterday. Coming off our first win in 12, scoring 3 goals for the first time all season, looking like we were actually an attacking force when we went 4-3-3, and then to see how we set up yesterday was the first blow for me. But at half time, I thought I kind of felt that goal was going to come when we got that long throw in. So I kind of wasn't surprised, but I was really relieved that we went in at 1-0. But I really genuinely think we've played perfectly into Brentford's game plan. I think the game plan was soak it up for 80 odd minutes, and then last 10 minutes just go for him, because I feared Wiesa coming off the bench. I always think he's a threat whenever he plays games. He's a decent player, and I just felt like they had more attacking flair. Everyone's kind of touched on it, and to an extent, of the 3 attacking plays Cooper could have brought on when he took a 1 year off, he brought on the worst option. I would have been happy. I would have preferred Dennis to come on, because I think counter-attacking was the way we were going to get our second goal, if we were going to get a second goal yesterday. But I wouldn't have been opposed to Sam Surridge coming on. I know he's got his fans, and I would have given him a chance over Ayew, because Ayew just doesn't bring us that attacking threat. He can link up the ball. He can win it when we decide to go long ball. For some reason,
but was he the problem, Ez? Because he got pelters on Twitter. Ayew did. Was he really that much of the problem to the bigger sense of the game?
He was a scapegoat, obviously, because a few players were scapegoated because Cooper's not at fault. It's the players, and it's certainly over, So he was scapegoated by a section of the fans, as they tend to do. But I think it was just negative gameplay, and for mindset of the rest of the players as well. And to be making the subs when he did and how he did, I touched on my post-match, and I think you've mentioned it as already in the stream today about the timing of the Yatesy substitution. You just don't do it. I was learning that pretty early on, and whether it's true or not, every time I see, because we did a couple of times under Houghton, we did a couple of times under Cooper last season as well, and we got away with it. But I remember we used to do it quite a few times under Houghton, and we always used to concede late goals, and we were flaky, but basically flaky when that happens. I just thought it was just basic mistakes. But the concern I've got more than anything, and listening to a lot of the fans today and over the last couple of days, is how they're all expecting us to beat Southampton. I don't see that as a given. I really don't.
Yeah.
Because if you look at their last couple of games, they've gone ahead in games. Whether 3-0 up or 3-1 up against Arsenal, and Arsenal managed to pull it back. Them going 1-0 up or 2-0 up against us, do you think we can get back into the game? We're not that kind of team. So I'm really concerned that everyone's seemingly thinking that this is a 3 points and it's a given. The benefit of that game is all the teams would have played by the weekend, because there's a few games on the Monday as well. I think because of a bank holiday or Coronation Bank holiday, there's a couple of games on the Monday against with our rivals playing. But at least we'll know what we need to do. But we have to beat Southampton. But
well, we already know what we need to do. We got to beat them, bro. There's no ifs and buts on this one.
We know what we have to do. But how often does that work out in our favour? When we have a must-win game, and I don't care what Ant has to say in it. This is as must-win a game as you're gonna fucking get all fucking season.
I just want to go through the last games that everybody's got down there. Just before we do, Nottingham Now and Then, thanks very much for gifting the membership and a 1 year winning Golden Boot. Brilliant name.
And he's a legend. He's a legend as well. He's on TikTok. He's always on our TikTok lives.
Thank you, buddy.
Well done, mate.
Thank you, Nottingham. Then go on now.
Right,
Dino,
okay, so I'm gonna give you the last fixtures, the last 4 fixtures of the bottom club. So we've got Leeds, who have Manchester City away, Newcastle at home, West Ham away, and Tottenham at home. And
they're screwed.
They're letting in goals left, right, and centre at the minute, aren't they?
Yeah.
So we're putting those down as in the bottom three.
Yeah,
they're still ahead of us. They're still ahead of us as things stand.
Yeah,
exactly. So that's one of my points from yesterday was that it's taking it out of our hands.
Goal difference.
Yeah. Well, whatever happens tomorrow, we're in the relegation zone. Whatever result is, even if it's a draw, we end up in the relegation zone tomorrow. So from that point of view, we're going to have to kind of rely on other teams, as well as obviously we've got to get our own results. That's the main important thing, but we're going to kind of have to rely on other teams not to pick up results around. If we win and everybody else wins, we're going down. Simple as that. So we added the pressure on. Maybe that's better for us because we just don't seem to do well when we're ahead in games. We can't hold on to leads. We can't hold on to... we were 6 points clear at one point of a relegation zone. And then...
Well, look how that's...
Yeah.
Dino, just go through Leicester's one because I've got... Can I just say before you do, with Leicester, I almost want to let them go and let them survive because listen to what you're about to read out. Go on.
Leicester home, Fulham away, Liverpool home. Sorry, Everton home, Fulham away, Liverpool home, Newcastle away, West Ham home. That's tough, man.
Yeah, it is tougher than I remembered.
They've got a tough running.
Everton home, Fulham away, Liverpool at home, Newcastle away, and West Ham at home. Last game of the season. That's tough.
I think these are the toughest, to be honest.
Okay, and then who's the other ones?
Everton. Obviously, have Leicester away, Brighton away, Man City at home, Wolves away, Bournemouth at home. That's tough.
Bournemouth are on the beach. Wolves are on the beach.
Wolves will be on the beach.
They're going to lose their next three if we go on the form book.
Leicester away, Brighton away.
They could have 6 points. If we're being realistic, that puts them on 6 points. Yeah. Give them both the wins. Yeah, the last 2 wins.
So we're giving Leicester then.
Well, all right, let's go one at a time. Everton. Yeah, they're on 28 points. Are they on 28 points now off the top of my head?
Yeah, 28 points.
Okay, you give them 6. That puts them on 34. Yeah, with a better goal difference. Huh?
Fulham away.
What do you mean?
Leicester.
Are we saying Leicester?
Sorry, yeah, Leicester.
Wait. On Everton, are we
let's go back to the start. You're on Leeds. Do Leeds.
Okay. Let's scratch it and start again. Go on.
Bournemouth away.
Yeah.
They lost
Man
that,
City.
mate.
Man City away.
Mate, they already
Newcastle
lost.
at home.
Loss.
West Ham away.
Give them a point.
Tottenham at home.
Spurs at home.
Give them a win.
You fucking give them a win.
Give them a win. So that gives them 4 points. That's 34. Yeah?
Yeah.
Leicester. Everton at home. Fulham away.
Give them the win. Give them a point. 4.
Liverpool at home.
Probably lose. Still 4.
Newcastle away.
Lose. Still 4.
West Ham at home.
West Ham at home.
West Ham could be safe, or you could give them 7. That would put them on
36.
36, okay.
Mm-hmm. Everton, Leicester away. Brighton away. Man City at home.
Yeah.
Wolves away. Bournemouth
3.
at home.
6. Then max is 7 if you gave them a draw.
At 28. 35.
So plus 7 is 34.
35.
35. I think it's 36. 36 is the magic number to stay up for us because we can't match them on 35 with our goal difference.
Mm-hmm. And then Southampton, Newcastle away, Forest away, Fulham at home, Brighton away, Liverpool at home.
Yeah, they're screwed. They're screwed. I think it's 36, boys. 36 is the number.
Yeah.
What do you boys think?
Yeah, that's the one that's been popping around in my head as we've had this conversation today. But yeah, 36, I think then you're safe. 35 if we didn't have such a bad goal difference. But yeah, 36 to keep us safe, I think.
What do you think, Dino? 35, 36? You thinking lower?
35, I think.
You know what's pissing me off now? Now we've just done that maths. You know what's really pissing me off? That we didn't beat Brentford.
Yeah. How different did that table look?
Southampton would be safe with 36.
So far, the rest of the results have gone our way. Yeah, we couldn't hold on. We couldn't hold on to a point. It's fucking so disappointing.
And everyone's forgetting this time tomorrow we're in the relegation zone. I've not kicked a ball.
Yeah. There's nothing that we can do to,
nothing. Yeah,
it's what it is. But I think a draw probably. We've got to hope that they don't pick up. People don't pick up 3 points, and we do. But if we lose against Southampton, boys, I'm afraid I think we're down.
Oh, that's it.
If we don't win, even a draw, it's not enough.
Without a doubt, and that would be
a miracle if we get.
I think we'll beat Southampton. I think we'll draw with Chelsea. I think we'll draw with Arsenal. What does that put us on? 5. And then buckle up your assholes for Palace.
Oh, God. Can you imagine the stress in that?
Oh, my God, man. I'm going to need a bleep button for that watch along, man. Oh, my God, man. Oh, my God.
It'll be a hell of
but
a
yeah.
It's more than likely going to go down to
I agree with that.
Last game being crucial.
I'm with Si on that. I was there counting the numbers.
I was thinking the same thing. Beat Southampton.
I got to 43. Man. Yeah, and I agree with what Owen's saying. It's the errors, cost us, whatever you want to call it. All right, look, I'm going to finish this on a positive, yeah?
I think
Be my guest.
Hold on. I'm going to say... Hold on, before I do.
Excuse me.
Right. We beat Southampton. We draw with Chelsea, 4. We lose to Arsenal, 4. We beat Palace, 7. 37.
Wow.
We survive. Woo!
Whoa, that's some good juice you got there, my friend.
It's good, man. I need some
more.
more. That took all that sip out of me, man. What are you saying, Dino, points-wise, then?
4, mate.
Dino?
4. I've got a little bit left, look.
That looks more like piss.
It's terrible.
That's pissy clappy juice. 4. Okay, what are you saying? Southampton win and a Palace draw?
I'm saying a Chelsea draw. I've
Chelsea.
changed my mind about Palace now.
Shit, okay. Ez, all on you.
I flippy flopped.
Right, let's say the Southampton win then, even though I don't think it's a given. And I'm going to rely on something from Chelsea, because imagine having to go down to that last game where we've won 1 game away from home and we have to get a win against Palace on the last day away from home. It just leaves us so much to do, mate. Yeah, the stress of it. But we've put ourselves in this position.
But there is a scenario where Arsenal could relegate us, and I can't have that with my son, man. I can't deal with that.
That would be painful.
That's just too much. What were you saying then, Ez? How many points?
Happy Clappy Ez is saying that we're going to beat Southampton and we're going to get a win at Chelsea because they're that shit. Well, we could possibly do them. And then a point at Palace will be enough on the last day of the season. 37.
37. See, Dino, you're just a negative bitch, man. Me and Ez
really
positive. We both found 37. We found 37. We found the route. Huh?
We'll see.
We'll see. Guys, on that note, it's been a way longer stream than anticipated. This was just going to be just a whatever one, and here we are 2 hours later. I can't believe you guys are still sitting here. Please don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe. We're 9 away from 10.5K. Thank you to all of those who have supported the channel so far. And don't forget, there's about 60, I think, Ryan Yates signed, framed shirt tickets left. So make sure you go and grab those. And you've got the chance for a couple more days, I believe, to get 83% off Surfshark with your VPN. We'll be back tomorrow for the in-depth. Oh, I'm so looking forward to filming that one on the Brentford game. We'll see you then. And come on, you Reds.
Come on, Reds.